Shalom, Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. My salutations to the brothers, teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will, to the hopeful extended elect, Shalom. Blessings. And this is just my little 2 cent, Apostle did a video understanding Matthew 28:19. Christians don't know ish about the Bible. And what is the 666 Mark II GMS truth? So yeah, this woman, this butch type woman, whatever you want to call it, she said the Hebrews only use 2 active brain cells. I mean, and it was posted by GMS South Carolina 08. And I know I heard the apostle saying the Christians just should put down the Bible, which is true. Y'all should just put down the Bible, man. Leave it alone, man. You know. This female, whatever she's called, she's talking about she read the whole Bible. First of all, when you read something and you don't understand, you're gonna stop reading. There's no way in hell she read all through Ezekiel, Jeremiah. She hasn't even read the Apocrypha. So how could you read the whole Bible and you haven't read the Apocrypha at all? I'm pretty sure she hasn't read one bit of the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Bible. It's in the 1611. So that's one thing too. Another thing is every time you talk to a Christian, well, we don't really talk to them, but you hear a Christian running their mouth, all they say is the Antichrist, the Antichrist, the Antichrist. Everybody's the Antichrist to them, man. Like, and they only think it's one. You know, it clearly says there's many Antichrists. So Lucifer is the Antichrist. The devil, the serpent, is the Antichrist. They don't know nothing about history about men that were on the earth, that were evil on the earth and wicked on the earth, like Antiochus Epiphanes. They don't know about the captivities. So, and I read over a little bit how they would see it. Now, look at this. This is how they think right here. This is how these bonehead Christians think. They weren't given the parables, breakdowns of the Most High. Most High is not dealing with them. But this is how they think. They think it was an actual red dragon bound by an angel. And of course, the angel looked like a so-called white man. There's many pictures all through this showing the same type of illustration, which is definitely going off, man. Come on. And then when you go to the actual scripture, we know who the dragon is. When you go to the actual scripture, it's talking about the dragon was bound and thrown into the bottomless pit so he wouldn't deceive the nations no more. You gonna tell me a dragon is it gonna be able to deceive you? It's like that Little Red Riding Hood thing. A wolf trying to tell you that they're your grandmother. It doesn't make any sense, man. Come on, a 7-headed dragon. You're gonna be deceived by it. You're gonna be like, no, that's definitely some wicked creature. I'm not, but he deceived the nations. And Yahweh Shai called men serpents. He called men devils. So a devil is not this mythical creature underground that they always display in pictures and movies. You know? And they always make it to where they have to have some kind of spiritual powers. Devil means false accuser. If you're a false accuser, you're a devil. If you're an adversary to the Most High, you're a Satanist. You don't have to have powers or some magic. You could be a regular person like that. You could be a skateboarder. You could be this female this butch female that Apostle is showing, and you could be a devil. You know. So there's no way she read the whole Bible for one. We know that, and then other people be like, well, yeah, she's young. Give her a chance. No, because no matter how young you are, how old you are, if you speaking wayward outside the rim of the Most High, outside your neck, then you can be judged, man. And remember, these are old spirits coming back. These ain't new spirits, man. She been here before, and you could have a little child that'll point out a Hebrew and tell on him for him to get hung and burnt. So what you gonna do with that child? But anyway, um, so yeah, you can type up any kind of wording of in the scriptures. You know, now Esau and Jacob they're starting to get right. You know, but they'll fall. They of course is you'll see many pictures being false, and then and then you might have a little truth on down because brothers been coming out with the truth. But you know, she don't even know who. I bet she don't even know who Esau and Jacob is. She probably never read that in the Bible. Talking about she read the whole Bible. Um, you could look up. Uh, what would be another one? Um, in the scriptures, it says, "Two nations are in thy womb." Let's see what how they illustrate that. Two nations in thy womb. I don't wanna. Let me just put this. Yeah. See this BS. You know, that's some BS right there. They always show stuff like ghostly, like it doesn't relate to real life. And then even the war in heaven, they act like it doesn't relate to real life. Like how are we supposed to ever connect with the Most High and His Son if everything's parabolic and everything's invisible and everything? It says in even scriptures, Romans 1:20, all the invisible things are clearly seen with things that are made. So you got a spiritual, I mean, uh, spiritual Lucifer, and then they got a physical counterpart Lucifer. See, now they starting to, you can start to see truth in some of these pictures. Um, because they don't, and reason why, and look, the reason why you see much sooner truth illustrations of Esau and Jacob than you did with the dragon, um, because this is kind of a new thing for them to break down. Because they try to get away, they try to hide the Esau history. Like he doesn't exist, so we don't need to do any breakdowns. We don't need to, but Revelation. Okay, we're gonna tackle this. We're gonna show who the dragon is and how he was bound and all that. No, then you're taken away from the scriptures because you're supposed to break that. You're supposed to let people understand. If this woman read the whole scriptures and she got to that part with Esau and Jacob, and then she goes out to teach, she got to mention who Esau and Jacob is. Because somebody's going to ask one day. When they read the Bible. Uh, the bogus illustrations of Christianity. Don't Doesn't make any sense, man. I mean, it don't make sense, man. And look at this. When it says the first show, Jacob held first Esau's heel. They don't even know what that means. But look at the illustration. Look how kindergarten. This is not even kindergarten. This is below kindergarten level. And I'm glad the Most High gave certain men spiritual, the spiritual eye salve and the spiritual knowledge was one understanding to break down the Bible correctly. Because if I'm in a church and they're, teaching me who Esau and Jacob is, and I see this, I'm gonna be like, nah, man, you gotta give me more than this. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know, what the hell is going on, man? Even with that dragon, you're gonna tell me a dragon is deceiving people, just coming with wonders and talking to them and deceiving them and making them. You gonna have to break down more than that. Just the illustration of a dragon. And then you say Satan bound in chains. You know, like I said, look at this and see. This is madness, man. It's just that's why we at the end of this thing, man. Most High just gonna get. Most High just it's just time for judgment, man. You know, that's all that is. Look at this. This is how they think. This is what. That's why they're so warped in the mind. Because these are pictures that have been painted for them. That's why you like the apostles, elders keep saying you can't listen to Christianity, man. If they vision stuff like this and they think this is like biblical, these pictures, you know, they're done, man. They're fried. Their brain cells are fried, man. You know, look, yeah, I'm about to close out, man. Look at this. Look at this BS, man. And that's the why the only thing they could do is be mad and shit. Why do the heathen rage? That's the only thing they could do is be mad. And she looked like she was she could have been a northern kingdom tribe, our people, but she's lost in the philosophies of the devil, man. Um, scholars couldn't even break this down. That's why vocab is so mad and shit, and so infatuated with GMS because he's starting to know he really don't know shit. And theologian, the schools, it's the study of the Bible. It's not that they know it. It's just it's the study of religion and and science, whatever. So it's not even confirmation of knowledge of 100% of anything. It's just studying of it. So, but these people, at least, you know, these people, these that just come out and say anything, they don't even study. It's one thing of reading the Bible, and another thing is studying the Bible. So even if you claim that you read the Bible, and somehow it seems believable to people, well, you didn't study it though, and it says study to show thyself approved, man. These are the same people that that are in college and and in relationships. They got too much going on. They got a job they have to tend to. You know, they got tests of their own. They got, there ain't no way they gonna be studying the Bible like that unless they're in the truth and they're sincere. And it says, "Be occupied in prophecy." Second Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. You know, she doesn't even know the order of the Most High. She doesn't even know that, you know, the Son of God is not who she thinks he is. They don't even remember or even understand or read that the angels are still, Yahweh Shai is austere. So who is this guy Serge Bajir painted as some Mo, some with long hair? This guy is a creep, man. I wouldn't even stand nowhere near this guy, man. You can't be believing somebody that's that nice and that gentle, man. But Esau was also, when he presented himself as an angel of light, he'll act like he's for you, act like it's good tidings and gifts and all that, and then he'll stab you in the back. Nah, man. No way, Jose. But as long as they under the impression that this is the Son of God, they're done. They're fried. I wouldn't listen to them. Don't even listen to them, man. And they always show him half naked, man. Like it's just like this world is, weird, and he's always around children. I think some devil ass mode and kept the display of this man going back to Serge Bourget, going back to Serapis Christos. Somebody's keeping this image alive, and I bet it's moles, man, because this is nowhere near biblical description, and nowhere near even the mannerisms they got wrong when they show them in the movies. They display them in the movies. So, when you read, and I've heard this, that people could read and they don't picture anything. And, you know, I'm set to believe that I don't know, Personally, as a man, I think anybody that reads, like if you read a story, you read a book, you picturing what you're reading. So, you know, if she's picking up a book, she read the whole Bible, and then she read the book, and she say, well, you know, even if she went back to the ancient times, the Babylonians, even Persian and Medes, she went to the Romans, and she went to, you know, uh, where a lot of stuff was going on with different regional places, countries, and nations of people, and you know, even with America, it's like it's all kind of people here, man. It's Chinese, Japanese, Africans, East Indians. You don't see them, but they're here. So if somebody asks you, well, yeah, I'm going to America, and you're like, well, is there any what nationality of people there? It's just black and white. They're food. They haven't, even though they go out every day and they claim that they've been to many places, And they say, well, it's not that many other people here but black and white and Latino. Well, they're a lie. Just like these people that read the Bible and picture something that's not realistically real to how the people lived and the people looked. And that's very important when you reading a book, any kind of book. You got to get the characters right. You got to get the mannerisms right. You got to get who they were as a nation, or or what nationality they were. So these people are all bugged out. At the end of the day, they say, it's a whole big rainbow about this thing, about people and who the Most High love. Well, if that was the case, uh, there wouldn't be so much war, even into this very day. Because if everybody is believing in Jesus, because that's what they scream, everybody screams Jesus, then everybody should be getting along. This whole America is, they say this is a Christian country, but it's the most divided country, most confused people of the earth, you know, and and most of these people over here so-called believe in Jesus. Well, they do believe in Jesus. Most of these people. I think Christian is number one religion worldwide, and then Muslims, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Christianity is the top religion, not over here, only over here in America, but over here all the other countries. But yet there's war. So if we're all going by this book, and the book is about peace and love, then where is the hate coming from? Well, we believe in that same Son of God, but we know who he really is, what he really looked like, and what his mannerisms were. But they can't even get those three things straight. So, yeah, we don't. You can't talk to anybody like that. You know, you can't talk to anybody that believes in a false narrative, false philosophies, lies, that believe everything is invisible and parabolic and everything's phantom and ghost. And then the wicked, yeah, they're underground. They're all underground, you know, burning, or the devil's underground waiting for you to get there. But then it says in the scriptures that Satan will be loose for 1,000 years. When did that happen? Or the dragon? Who is the dragon? Is the dragon Satan and are all those the same people? Lucifer, the dragon, Satan, serpent. They don't even know about that. So yeah, I'm ranting a little bit, but and it says right here, Revelation 12:6, it says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So you gonna tell me a little helpless woman, just by what the earth? So the earth swallowed up the dragon, or the flood of the dragon, and then the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which how he's making war? Well, first of all, the commandments of the Most High, her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. First, this is a spiritual war. So the ones that keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of who they ignorantly call Christ, they don't have weapons, because it says our weapons are not a warfare. The children of God's weapons are not a warfare. So how is the dragon going to make war with this woman? Woman's the remnant of her seed, and they don't even have any weapons. Well, supposedly it's all in heaven. It's all parabolic. But this woman had a seed. You can't have a seed, and angels don't have seed, man. They don't. They don't. What do they say? They don't. They don't marry like men do. when it talks about the seed of Abraham, and it ain't talking about no parabolic. It's talking about his actual seed. He had a son named Isaac, and Isaac had Jacob, and Jacob had 12 patriots, his sons, which became the 12 tribes of Israel. And then there's some people on this earth that claim that they Israel, and nobody says nothing about them. And they doing all kind of crazy ass shit, all kind of diabolical, all kind of disrespect to the Most High, disrespect to the scriptures, contrary, antichrist, and nobody has lifted up a finger against them or a say against them and saying, nah, y'all liars too. That's why the Most High, this is judgment. It's time to judgment. And the Most High is not going to hold himself anymore. It says that in the scriptures. So you got to watch who you listen to, man. You know? Because we about reality. The truth is about reality. You can't, the prophecies unfolding and then people say, well, nah, that doesn't mean that. We're in a whole brink of World War III. We're a whole brink of nuclear missiles being shot. We're in a time to where AI is heavy up on the scene. We're in a time where people are really concerned about their souls. And then you got people that say, well, yeah, God is love, and that's it. These are the kind of people that just want to be left alone to themselves and destroyed to themselves. It's kind of like those do as thou will people. That's who they are. They just don't want to be bothered and think about what could happen or think about what's going to happen. They don't want to be involved with prophecy or having to, understand anything. They just want to be left alone. They want to have a relationship. They want to have a dog in the house, and they want to have a car, and even if it's a cubby hole or a little apartment and all that, and they just want to be left alone. And they say they peace and they disappear off the face of the planet, man. This is the only video she's gonna do ever in life, probably. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, it's over. It's game over, man. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. To the next video. Shalom.